Hello and welcome to the Curiosity Lab, where we explore real challenges of senior living sales, design practical, curiosity-driven solutions that will help you connect more deeply and win more often. And I think that we all want that. I'm Kelly Myers, one of the founders of KJB Sales Consulting and the author of The More You Know, The More You Close, The Power of Curiosity-Driven Sales. Today we're going to talk about how slowing down can supercharge your results. And we're going to focus on three things. One, why slowing down is actually a high performance strategy and how science and real world results back it up. We're going to talk a little bit about what it looks like in a practical environment, from discovery and tours to follow-up and family connection. And then lastly, how to apply a curiosity-driven approach that builds trust, reduces friction, and shortens your path to move-ins. Let's jump in and talk about something that feels a bit counterintuitive, especially in a high-pressure sales environment like senior living. Slowing down to go fast. Might sound like a contradiction, but it's actually one of the most effective performance strategies available to us. This approach is well known in elite environments like athletes and the U.S. Navy SEALs, where pressure to act quickly is enormous. Their mantra, slow is smooth, smooth is fast. In other words, moving deliberately without rushing actually leads to faster, better outcomes. When things matter most, presence beats panic every time. And science backs that up. Psychologists call it faster is slower. Rushing increases mistakes, increases stress, which slows progress down overall. Neuroscience shows us that when we reduce our pace, we lower the cognitive load. We can listen better, think more clearly, build stronger emotional connections. So this is not just a mindset, it's a measurable performance advantage. Now let's bring this back to your daily sales work in senior living. We all know sales is not a typical transactional process. It's an emotionally complex, often urgent, usually layered with fear, guilt, and uncertainty. When we move too fast, we ask surface level questions, and we could miss what's actually driving the decision. It's easy sometimes to fall into scripted routines instead of responding with empathy. We push next steps before trust has been built. And we all know you cannot shortcut trust. That's a key principle in my book. Slowing down allows us to create space for real understanding. And when we do, those decisions then are made faster because they're grounded in confidence and they're grounded in the fact that you have identified the real problem and have provided a solution that will meet their needs. Let me share a story from the field that I think captures this. Parker Mayland is the sales director at the Volante of Sage Spring, and he decided to shift his approach. Instead of rushing to next steps, really driving advances, he wanted to slow his process down, and he wrote to me and said, I sat down and wrote out everything I knew about each person. And on the other side of the page, I asked, what don't I know yet? He treated each inquiry like a mini case study. And that led to more thoughtful, curiosity-driven conversations, creative follow-up, doubling his home visits, and deeper family connections. The result? A 4% occupancy increase with a net gain of 3. But even more important, those families felt seen, heard, and valued. Sometimes success isn't just about the speed. It's about your presence. Consider what a family or prospective resident may be willing to share with you in the early stages of the sales process. They're often going to have to answer questions that they've never been asked before. They may have to share answers that they've never said out loud before. And that can be a really challenging thing to do. And the courage to reach out to senior living, to consider that this could be the right thing, to get out of the car when they come to your appointment, actually walk over your threshold, and sit down and have a conversation about someone they love is probably one of the toughest things a person would have to do. As your family members that you're talking with, or the prospective resident themselves, are sharing their stories with you, it's really easy to think about, oh, I hear that all the time. I was talking to somebody else exactly like you. I was dealing with someone else whose father was in the same exact situation that your dad is in. But guess what? No, they're not. They're not in at all the same situation. But for us, because we see it all the time, it sounds familiar. It sounds similar. But the unique experience that this one person is having deserves the respect of having it treated as their singular story. And in order for us to do that, we have to put ourselves in a position where we can really sit back and we can listen to learn, not to just begin in our heads tying solutions to some of the things that you're hearing that family is saying. So it takes discipline to ask questions, and as you're getting some of those answers, take those answers as if they were boxes and stack them up. Sounds like your mom is having some trouble with her medications. Set that aside. Sounds like you're concerned about your mom's not really eating the food that you've been bringing over. Set that aside. Last time you were at the doctor with your mother, what you learned is that her sugar was up. It's been very high and she's a diabetic, and you didn't know that. Put that aside. As you're gathering, right, all of these pieces and parts to the story, we want to honor that as it is their story. And as we begin to build trust and get to know them better, we're going to start to get what is often the rest of the story, which are going to be those maybe more serious things going on, and maybe the things that they didn't trust you enough in the early part of the sales process to share with you. So having that discipline to really listen and to build very good questions is critical for you to tie a solution that is of a value that matches the expense that they're going to have to pay in order for this person that they love to live with you. Take a moment and consider what a family or a prospective resident may be willing to share with you early in the sales process. Your first interaction with them may be their third interaction with senior living. And I'd bet every community they've visited so far has a long list of amenities and services and programs, probably a lot like yours. And in those situations, if solutions were offered, they likely only align with ServFed needs. Let's be clear, slowing down doesn't mean dragging things out. It means being intentional. It's not about doing less, it's about doing what matters most. Slowing down could look like taking extra time to read your CRM notes so you can tailor your approach, planning better questions for your discovery process, aligning the tour to what's meaningful to the prospect and the family at that time. Let me say that again. Aligning the tour to what's most meaningful to the prospect and the family at that time. A really hard habit to break is moving away from a tour path mentality, sometimes known as the standard tour. But if you want to stand out and ensure the prospect and the family know that you are listening, that you understand, you want to tailor that tour on those things that they are most concerned about that you've identified. It may sound something like this. I've been reviewing my notes, and now that we've had an opportunity to talk a bit more, it sounds like making sure your mom is not skipping her meals, that her medications are provided at the right time, and that she has an opportunity to make some friends are most important to you right now. Do I have that right? Did I miss anything? Okay. Based on that, I'd like to spend our time today with our dining services coordinator, the wellness director, and then swing by the programming director's office so you can meet the people who will be providing the care, food, and fun you want for your mom. And what that means is we're going to go and see the dining room, take a look at the menus, and we'll take a look at the activity space. If we have more time, what else would be important for you to see today? This is a strategic selling approach. It removes friction and builds momentum. Slowing down is also a sign of respect. It says to the family, you're not just a lead, you're a human being, and I want to get this right. I recognize this is a very critical decision. When people feel heard and understood, they do decide quicker, and they do it with more peace of mind. So here's a challenge for your next call, tour, email, whatever's coming next. Think about, what do I already know? What don't I know yet? What would I like to know? What have I already done? Just asking yourself those questions can be the clear differentiator in the way that that prospective resident and their family will experience your community. That one question can unlock the conversation that you've been waiting for. Because the more you know, the more you will close. And when you slow down, you will go fast. And you're going to go fast where it really matters in helping people to make difficult decisions. Thanks for spending time with me today in the Curiosity Lab. If today's message helped shift how you think about your process, even just a little, I hope you'll carry that curiosity into your next real conversation. Until next time, stay intentional, stay connected, and above all, stay curious. Thanks so much.